So, hello guys, welcome back to another episode. We Speak Football. This is currently week 5. Now, just to let you know, something that I'm going to be doing for next week, or from now on, is that I'm going to be splitting up the parts so that if there's 4 matches on Saturday, I'll record after that, and then if there's 4 matches on Sunday, I'll record after that. It means there will be more episodes and stuff like that, and I'll know what I'm uploading a little bit more and stuff like that. And it sort of comes off as me being lazy to a point, but at the same time, it'd be smarter, you know what I mean? And it means you don't have to wait till about Thursday or Wednesday for me to release one of these videos. So last week I predicted Chelsea to win. Okay, this is the predictions part, by the way, and the scores and everything like that. Occasionally I might do scores, but I don't really. Chelsea versus Liverpool 2-1. I predicted 2-1. Chelsea versus Liverpool, I said 2-1 to Chelsea. By the way, I'm sick, so I'm going to be all over the place. No matter, I've tried recording this several times already, so I'm going to be all over the place. West Brom versus West Ham, I said 2-1 to West Ham. Hull versus Arsenal, I said 2-1 to Arsenal. Leicester versus Burnley, I said 1-0 to Burnley. Man City versus Bournemouth, I said 2-0 to Man City. Everton versus Middlesbrough, I said 2-2. Watford versus Man U, 2-1 to Man U. South versus Swansea, 1-1, I said. Crystal Palace versus Stoke, I said 2-1. Spurs versus Sunderland, I said 2-0 or 3-0 to Spurs. So the results were Chelsea versus Liverpool, I said 2-1 to Chelsea. It was 2-1 to Liverpool. West Brom versus West Ham, I said 2-1 to West Ham. It was 4-2 to West Brom. Hull versus Arsenal, I said 2-1 to Arsenal. It was 3-1 to Arsenal. No, sorry. But that's actually not true. It was 4-1 to Arsenal, I believe, wasn't it? Sorry, maybe I've gotten this wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was 4-1. Leicester versus Burnley, I said 1-0 to Burnley. It was 3-0 to Leicester. Man City versus Bournemouth, I said 2-0 to Man City. It was 4-0 to Man City. Everton versus Middlesbrough, I said 2-2. But it was 3-1 to Everton. Watford versus Man U, I said 2-1 to Man U. It was 3-1 to Watford. Southampton versus Swansea, I said 1-1. It was 1-0 to Southampton. Crystal Palace versus Stoke, I said 2-0 to Palace. It was 4-1 to Palace. Spurs versus Sunderland, I said 2-0, 3-0, I couldn't decide. It was 1-0. So the opinions. Now, I'll be doing it in the same order as before. So Chelsea versus Liverpool. I will recap my guesses here. So here, Chelsea versus Liverpool. I said 2-1. It was 2 Chelsea, but it was 2-1 to Liverpool. So from what I saw, a lot of these matches I couldn't watch because they are all on at the same time. So I watched the highlights and put together what I heard, what people have said, and I'll do what I can. You know what I mean? And it says Liverpool dominated. How did Lovren score something that wasn't a header? Honestly, Henderson scored an absolute bloody screamer. Costa with a decent goal. The build-up was nice. Chelsea deserved to lose for about 4 reasons. They're all linked into the one, though, really. Matic is lazy and bad. You need to get a better centre mid. Ivanovic is old and bad. Oscar is terrible. And then the fourth thing, which they're all linked together, is Fabregas is one of the most creative players that still play in every single league at the moment, and you're not even going to play him, you know what I mean? That is just pure stupidity. You deserve to lose for that stupidity. Like, there's no creativity in the Chelsea squad unless they have him playing. And, like, I'm just being honest, he should be playing. And Ivanovic was fair dirty. The commentator said, now, this is funny, because I'm not sure how true this is, but the commentator said, I know that much. But, is Sturridge injured again? It said, like, he's been subbed off and he's walking into the lane, walking down into the, like, dressing room, like, limping, and the commentator said, I think he's injured again. It's just so funny to hear because, you know, he's stereotypically injured all the time. Anyway, West Brom versus West Ham. I said 2-1 to West Ham. It was 4-2 to West Brom. Unnecessary handballs by West Ham and an unnecessary penalty to give away. Bad defense by West Ham. Somewhat Jamie McClean goal. Good fourth goal by West Brom from a West Ham corner. Or free kick, I think it was corner though. It was one of the set pieces, you know what I mean? No, like a great counter attack. It was fantastic. Like, Payet had some fair unlucky. Like, he had some free. It was unlucky not to score. Good job. West Ham did not give up. Even when they were 4-0 down, they did not give up. You know what I mean? And that's fantastic. Some West Brom defense and goalkeeping. West Brom had 30% possession and West Ham had 70% possession. That just proves that stats don't mean anything. The only thing that matters, that legitimately matters, is the goals, is the shots. You know what I mean? It's not the stats. Hull versus Arsenal, I said 2-1 to Arsenal. It was 4-1 to Arsenal. Arsenal's, I think it was 4-1 to Arsenal. It was 4-1 or 3-1 to Arsenal. Okay, I'm not quite sure. I'm pretty sure it was 4-1. Here it even says 4-1, and I think I forgot to fix the other one. Anyway, Arsenal had a pretty lucky first goal. Like, they kept taking the shots and they managed to rebound to them perfectly. Holger ran unnecessary pen and red. Honestly, I don't think that was a red. I think that was a bit harsh on him, but you know. Cazorla could have easily seen red. The amount of times she was talking back to the keeper, the amount of times she was just generally being, I guess, you know, the fouling, the talking back to the keeper. There's about 3-4 bookable offences, and he was being pretty nice to him by not giving him any. Anyway, if whether or not this was 4-1 or 3-1, you get the point. Arsenal won by a good bit. Xhaka scored an absolute screamer. Iwobi actually looked decent. I don't know much about this kid now. He could be like a guy that has 90 potential. Or maybe he's a guy that honestly they just play him because it's Arsenal and they're too stingy to buy players. Maybe. I don't know. Snodgrass did pretty well, especially the score and not to give up. He was constantly doing something. Leicester versus Burnley. I said 1-0 to Burnley. It was 3-0 to Leicester. Slimane, or whatever, Islam, I know that is his first name. Islam Slimane. Something like that. Anyway, pretty good debut, you know what I mean? 2 goals, 2 headers. Leicester looked dominant. And it was unlucky own goal by me. No, not by me now, lads, okay? Yeah, that was your fella's name. A beautiful free kick by... Oh, sorry. Man City versus Bournemouth. I said 2-0 to Man City. It was 4-0 to Man City. No. I want to say something at the end of this, but I'll keep going. Beautiful free by De Bruyne. Man City did well, though. Man City really did well, though. Decent goals, decent runs. Bournemouth, although Bournemouth were pretty bad. You know, they couldn't even touch the Man City players. They were terrible. They didn't even try to touch them. They were terrible, every single one. And the only guys I seen in the highlights that was a Bournemouth player was an Arsenal player, really. And that's Wilshere. And the only reason why I seen him in the highlights is because he was fouling. I'm not even just saying that, he actually was. He's actually a strong little guy, honestly. Anyway, Bournemouth, Stern looks like a new player altogether. He really does. De Bruyne is amazing. He's just simply a beast. Okay, I know that you're getting red card is so unnecessary. He didn't need to get into that like little fight. You know what I mean? It wasn't an actual fight. It was just, he started talking shit, and he just shouldn't have done it. But now, just please take this with a grain of salt. This is my opinion. This is what I think. Okay, I'm sure I'm wrong if it happens, obviously, or maybe I'm wrong because, like, just tell me the reason why I might be wrong. But I still don't think they'll win the league. No offense, City fans. It's just my opinion. I just can't see Man City winning it. Not this year. Everton versus Middlesbrough, I said 2-2. It was 3-1 to Everton. Negredo had a pretty lucky goal. Actually, I think that was a foul. Headbutting Sticklenberg, or whatever his name is, arm into like his own net, basically, is what he did. Barry's scoring a pretty vital goal on his 600th appearance. An equalizer. That is insane. And he's a CDM. So that's even more insane for your 600th appearance, don't you think? Yeah. Coleman had a pretty beautiful goal with some nice little dribble and then a pretty good shot with his bad foot. The Lukaku goal was okay, somewhat surprising because I didn't think Lukaku would have this much form from one good match. Anyway, let's go on to Watford versus Man U. This is 2-1. I said 2-1 to Man U. It was 3-1 to Watford. Looking over the highlights, looking over everything, from what I've heard, Watford dominated. Am I expecting too much from Ibra? Maybe. Or do I have the right to say that I think he's not doing the best he could be doing? Pogba got his closest thing ever to an assist or a goal, whatever, attempt so far. He hit off the crossbar from a pretty good long-range shot. Unlucky that he didn't score. I said that I think he'd come very close or will actually score that weekend. Honestly, I feel bad for the guy because he is a very good player. I think he just needs some time to settle back into England. And yeah, where are we? Sorry, I just got distracted. Personally, I think Jose, now, not permanently, I think Jose should drop Rooney just for maybe a match or 3 sort of thing. Bring Pogba up, because Pogba, I feel, is more of a cam than a CDM. Centre mid will do, but I think he should play cam. I think he's better cam than he will ever be a CDM. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just think he's got better shooting stats and he has defending stats. Anyway, like in real life, obviously. Rashford is looking godly, honestly. He could actually be like the new Rooney. Like, he could grow up to be an absolute legend. Now, Rooney didn't grow up to be an absolute legend, I don't think, honestly. He just overhyped, but you know what I mean? Maybe I'm just hating on him, but I just don't think he's a very good player. Anyway. I know. Zuniga. I don't know how you meant to say his name, so sorry if I did butcher that wrong so badly. But great sub, 60 seconds, a scorer winner. And then Pereira is looking like a decent sign, assisting that 60-second goal. Like, out of nowhere, he just absolutely just does what he's meant to do. That's what you expect from a cam. Like that, it was a pretty decent pass to pick out. And I think the pen was a bit harsh. Anyway, Southampton versus Swansea. I said 1-1, but it was 1-0 to Southampton. Southampton were pressing a lot. Redmond should have scored in the first half, but put way too much power in the simple little, like, the type of goal that would have been was just aim and score. You know what I mean? That's how simple it was. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't need to put power, he didn't need to do anything. Charlie Austin, or whatever his name is, sorry if I butchered that, or whatever, scored a pretty nice volley. And he pressed a lot in that match, like, he seemed to always be making an attempt at something. So that's pretty decent to see. And, Crystal Palace versus Stoke. I said 2-0 to Crystal Palace. I thought Benteke would do a lot more, you know what I mean? But it was only It was 4-1 to Crystal Palace. Palace dominated. Tompkins getting in for... Anyway, let's get back to it. Palace dominated. Tompkins getting in for a nice header. Where is it? Dan with a nice header. McCarth with an alright goal. Townsend with a cracker on and bad foot. Bonnie with a heavy touch so bad he missed an open goal. Arnautovic with a nice little consolation goal. Now, is Pardew actually going to do well for Palace? Like, I'd be watching people like True Jordy and he'd be all like, oh, Pardew is shite, mate. I wouldn't know much about Pardew, honestly. But he'd be saying stuff like that. And, you know, I respect his opinion. But I don't think he's that bad, honestly, if he's made these pretty good signings, pretty good substitutions. He's done everything so well, in my opinion. Maybe it's, like, he did say that he will do well at first, and then he will do shit. So, we had to see, won't we? Maybe he's good at openers, and then after that he's just so bad. I don't know. And then, just real quick, a little moment of, like, I guess, silence for Papa Suar. I hope he gets well soon. If you do not know, he had an M4 car crash, and I just, like, for anybody, I hope, like, anybody would get better, you know what I mean, after an M4 car crash. So, like I said, a moment of silence for him. Silence for him. Okay. I know he's not dead, but, like, it's still, like, that was just sort of there for a bit of respect for him, you know what I mean? Spurs versus Sunderland, I said 2-0 or 3-0. It was 1-0. This match, now, this is my opinion real quick, okay? But this match proves that we have gotten better from last season. Had this been last season, we would have drawn after losing against anyone. But today, this season, we win after losing against Monaco. Basically what I'm trying to say is, before we lose, yeah, and we just keep going on a bad streak, yeah. But this season, we've lost, and we don't care. We just come back to the Premier League, and we're like, hey, it doesn't matter. We're still a pretty good Premier League team. So that's pretty nice. It was nice to see Jermaine Defoe back at the lane. I think personally Spurs did absolutely dominate. Son looked great. Like he did everything but score. Sissoko had a decent debut from what I heard, or a great start debut, whatever, you know what I mean. So yeah, Kane is off the mark again with scoring another goal. I know it was a pretty simple goal, but it was a winner and a pretty decent, you know, to revive that chance. Kane is also injured, however, but for how long we are yet to find out. So a lot of for the predictions for the Tottenham match, yeah, that's if nobody's injured and stuff like that, but we don't know if anyone will be injured. Kane is also injured, but for how long? Pickford, yeah, looks great. By the way, he's the Sunderland goalkeeper. He absolutely looks great. I've been watching some of the Sunderland matches, and he actually looks like a pretty good goalkeeper. I think he's going to be a great goalkeeper in the future at this rate. Just mark my words, in a few years we could easily see him playing for Man City, and he's only 22. He is just so young, and he just seems to be improving, and he actually does really well. We had a total like 16 shots on target against him today. 16 shots on target, and there were some pretty good ones and some not so good ones. You know what I mean? Either way, that is insane. That is about that's 15 saves. That's 15 saves. That is insane. Anyway, Januzaj got an unnecessary red card by talking back to the referee. He got yellow, and then later he did an unnecessary foul against Ben Davies. Do we have multiple injuries? I heard that we might. These are the two main ones. I don't want to be injured. The others we can do potentially without. But Kane, no, we need him to stay around. Not until basically he can't go until we get Janssen to score a couple, you know what I mean? And then he might be able to be injured for a little bit. But even then, I'd hate to see him injured. And then the other thing is I'm not sure if this guy was apparently pulling up injured, but in case he was, Moussa Dembele, please don't be either. Like, we just got you back, and he's such a good player. We didn't lose a single match with him actually starting for Tottenham last season. So that's absolutely fantastic. Anyway, predictions for next week. I think Man U versus Leicester is going to be a 2-2. Middlesbrough versus Tottenham, if there's no one injured, I think Tottenham can win 2-0. We're pretty good at keeping clean sheets. I just can't see us losing against them. Maybe we will if we don't have Kane and potentially if we don't have Moussa Dembele. But like I said, I just can't see any of them happening. And we have strengthened our team a lot since last year, so maybe we can win without Moussa Dembele some more, because we did go undefeated without Moussa Dembele. Liverpool versus Hull. 3-1 to Liverpool is what I'm saying. Sunderland versus Crystal Palace. I'm saying 2-0 to Crystal Palace. Swansea versus Man City. Man City, yeah. I'm saying 3-1 to Man City. Stoke versus West Brom. I think this is going to be Stoke's first win of the season. No offense to West Brom. They had a very good match. But I just think this is where they've got to eventually step up and win. So 3-1. No. 1-0, sorry. I was reading the wrong one. To Stoke against West Brom. Bournemouth versus Everton. 1-1. I just don't see Everton staying this consistent. Like, don't get me wrong. I just don't see it too much. They're having a very good season, but I just don't see it too much. Arsenal versus Chelsea. I personally, I can't really make too much of a prediction on this one too much. So what I'm just gonna say is what could easily. Honestly, I've got some real problem with my mic. Just basically I use Share Factory, and what happens is I finish speaking over because this isn't live commentary, and then what'll happen is it'll delete about a minute or two of what I said, depending how long I've been talking for. Anyway, so Arsenal versus Chelsea, I see 2-2. Hopefully that will be what happens, because a draw is good for both of us, for every single person in the league, so you can finish potentially above them even more likely. And then the other thing is that would be a pretty nice goal fest. Now, West Ham versus Southampton, I can't decide between pretty much 5 scores, basically. I know that's a big range, but basically it's 2-1 to West Ham, 2-1 to Southampton, 2-2, 1-1 or 0-0. So that's what I'm trying to say. Because they both had a pretty bad start, I think. I don't think Southampton's done pretty well. I'm pretty sure they haven't. And Burnley versus Watford, I think 1-1. And that's really all I have to say for now. Like I said, next week I will be splitting up the parts, and this is going to be a hard one to split up, because basically what's happening this time is there's going to be 10 matches every week. That's how it works, yeah. Because there's 20 teams, and you all have to play so and so. There's 10 matches, and this time when I'm splitting up, there's 8 on Saturday, and then there's 2. No. There's 8 on Saturday. And 2 on 1 on Monday and 1 on Sunday, sort of thing. So it's split up a bit differently than normal, so it's going to be hard to do. But let me know what you think, and tell me how you think this is going to go, and if you like me splitting up like this. Also, let me know in the comments who you think, what do you think about the West Ham Southampton scoreline, what I predict. Anyway, so thank you guys for watching. Hit that like button, comment, subscribe, and peace.